Today, I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill. We will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry and keeping my sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Trump's Inauguration Day actions also included an order to withdraw the U.S. from international climate commitments.
The next item, sir, is a letter that will be transmitted to the United Nations explaining that we are withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty.
So watching Trump saying this, do you also think that renewable energy has no future? That investing in clean energy companies is a waste? Well, let's see what the rest of the world is doing.
In 2022 globally, installations of rooftop solar panels rose by half, with investment in solar and wind growing from $357 billion to $490 billion, exceeding investment in oil and gas wells for the first time. And in 2023, it's predicted that total investment in clean energy will hit $1.8 trillion, compared with $1 trillion for fossil fuels. Vladimir Putin's energy threat to the West seems to have backfired. The war in Ukraine may have fast-tracked the global transition to green energy by as much as 5 to 10 years. By sending fossil fuel prices soaring, Russia made renewable power look more appealing than ever.
Oil and gas became really expensive, and so other forms of energy look increasingly attractive, particularly in the long term. And then governments are really interested in energy security, particularly domestic sources of clean energy, because of this growing concern of overdependence on a hostile government.
Diversifying away from Russia for fossil fuels and massive investment in renewable energy.
Around the world, regions and governments have announced significant investments and partnerships.
So the key takeaway here is that oil and gas production will become increasingly expensive compared to the renewable energy, a point we'll also explore further in the video. Plus, in a world of growing geopolitical tensions, countries that rely heavily on foreign energy should be seriously considering their energy security. Now, while the US debates fossil fuels, the rest of the world is moving full speed ahead on clean energy. And it's no surprise that China is leading the charge. They understand that the future belongs to those who dominate the clean energy production. One industry where this is already crystal clear is solar panels. Just take a look at this video.
The first solar panels were invented in America in 1954. And yet it's been China that's been better able to capitalize on the technology.
China was one of the first countries to realize the potential of solar panels. China actually took it and really commercialized it at a large scale.
Now, China controls over 80% of the global solar panel supply chain, while the United States manufactures virtually none of the required components for solar panel production. So to effectively compete with China in solar panel manufacturing, the US is prioritizing building up its supply chain, basically from scratch. Today, the US has less than half of the solar capacity that China does. And of the solar panels that are installed in the US, nearly 4 out of 5 of them are from Chinese companies.
China has such a head start when it comes to solar panel manufacturing is because they dominate the entire global supply chain.
That's because in recent years, China has spent almost 10 times as much on solar manufacturing than the US and the EU combined. And of the world's top 10 largest solar manufacturers, 7 are Chinese, only 1 is American. That stark difference plays out in each country's energy mix. According to the EIA, solar energy makes up 12% of China's total electricity generation capacity. Yet it only makes up about 3.4% of the US's total electricity generation capacity.
So China is positioning itself as the undisputed leader in this space. If the US ignores clean energy, China will control the future of the green energy. And as I mentioned earlier, forget geopolitics for a second. Let me ask you this. If you could get a cheaper electricity at your homes from renewables, would you take it, or would you rather pay more for fossil fuel generated power? But to be honest, Your opinion doesn't really matter here, because at the end of the day, utility companies will always go for the cheapest option, and that's renewable. But don't just take my words for it. Listen to the CEO of one of the top companies in renewable infrastructure.
Specifically about renewables, I know you listened to the State of the Union last night. I did as well. The president spent a fair bit of time talking about his achievements, among them, killing the federal EV mandate, bringing back drill, baby, drill to the oil industry. Does this, in your mind, pose a setback for renewables, to the energy transition, to transition finance, where Mark himself and Brookfield play an important role, and ultimately to decarbonizing the atmosphere?
So remember, oil is used in cars and planes. It's not used in power. We were always in favor of oil.
Gas is used in power, though.
Gas is used in power, and we were always in favor of gas because we need gas as a bridge fuel, and we're exporting it, and countries around the world need it to get rid of coal. Third, and this is really important, in the United States and in most countries of the world, solar and wind are the lowest cost power there is. When you have the lowest cost power, people buy it from you. Today, people just need power. They need any power. They need power from solar, they need power from wind, they need power from gas, they need power from nuclear, they need it from everywhere, because we're going to double the electricity stack in the next 20 years, and it's impossible to get there without all of these. So I think what's being done today is smart, but it doesn't matter for renewables. It's all still getting built.
So as he mentioned, that the cost of wind and solar is cheaper than the oil and gas, and that's the future. And the market demand for electricity is only increasing with AI, EVs, and decarbonization efforts. And this will drive valuations of clean energy companies over time. Now, yes, there is some debate on capacity of the wind and solar to replace our power needs, which is very true. But if not wind and solar, then nuclear is the next big contender, because nuclear energy has the potential to replace fossil fuels for the electricity on a massive scale. And guess again, China is also leading in this sector.
In just a few years, China has built this world-class fusion research campus from scratch, while the US still lacks anything like it. It's a sign of China's growing investment in nuclear fusion, what many scientists consider the holy grail of clean energy.
If American companies don't lead on this, then the jobs, the wealth won't develop here, they'll develop in China.
So the transition is happening. Whether the US wants to lead or fall behind is the real question. Investors should take note that the future of energy is changing. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts about renewable and clean energy in the comment sections.